Hello, welcome to Geeks Ascendo Audio Heads. Today we're discussing Paul McGann, Sheridan Smith, Lucie Miller. Lucie Bleeding Miller! She's from Blackpool, apparently. Um, it's been a few years since she was uh, on audios with Paul McGann. Her first go round was maybe 2013, 2012 with the Eighth Doctor Adventures. Maybe it was even 2011. It was a while ago. Anyway, she's back. Yay. And I enjoyed her stuff with Paul McGann, her Eighth Doctor Adventures. And so I was excited to do this with us. And this one, there was a four-part box set, and Lee will tell you what's in the box, and you'll give your opening thoughts.
Well, yeah, it's the further adventures of Lucie Miller. So this is spoilers. This is before she meets her end. Sets, I think, after the first season of her first audios. Yeah, it's 4 stories in this box set. You've got the Dalek Trap, the Revolution Game, the House on the Edge of Chaos, and Island of the Fendahl. We're discussing Island of the Fendahl. Yes, it's the 4th story in this box set, and it does reference a previous story, but for me, you don't really need to have heard that to understand this story. It doesn't take anything away from this story, because they sort of fill the gaps in anyway. So, yeah, Island of the Fendahl. The Fendahl has always been one of my favourite creations in Doctor Who. The Tom Baker story, Image of the Fendahl. I just like the concept of it. And this audio works really well. You've got a secluded island set in a village, a monastery, caverns, and you've also got the characters in the all come back to Image of the Fendahl in some way, and you've also Paul McGann and Sheridan Smith. It's like they've never been apart. They come back, and it's like it's the good old days again. Yeah, and it's as Susan said, it's Lucie Bleeding Miller. She's brilliant. I've missed her. I really have. and Paul McGann as well. He makes it for me on these Doctor Who audios. He's an awesome actor, and playing the Doctor, I think he's going to go on forever playing this Doctor. He's going to carry on as like Tom Baker's doing, until the drop, shall we say. But yeah, I enjoyed this. It's a very good story. As I say, it's the 4th one in the box set, but that doesn't take anything away from just this. Listen to this story as a single story. So back to you, Susan, and I'll.
Yeah, Tim, go for it. Your opening thoughts, and what you thought of Image of the Fendahl back in the day. Since Lee brought that up.
Oh, I love that story. It's one of my favorites. I agree with Lee on just about everything he said. That's one of the more interesting villain concepts that they ever had. And I think that the problem with it is kind of story you can only tell the one time, though. I think this is very much basically a rehash or a remake of it. I mean, it's got all the elements there, but it's really not much different, than that kind of story, I think. That's not a bad thing. I mean, really, this is all just a nostalgia fest anyway. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're ticking all the boxes of the names. Fendelman and all that is still there, and so it's just in a different location. I agree also about Lucie Miller. I think she's a great character, and I always liked her. And I think it's great that they're bringing her back, and that's what Big Finish can do, because they can always just say, "Well, just pop this story in here." You know what I mean? Even if they've killed somebody off, they can do that. They do that all the time. That's their whole business, is putting stories in other places. So that's cool. And I think I agree also that she's got great chemistry with McGann, and it's interesting it must be interesting for him, because he's playing so many different points in his timeline now that he'll probably have to think, okay, how was that with Lucie? Because after Lucie leaves, he becomes angry guy for a while, and then he and now he's doing this run in the Time War. So that's a whole different version of 8, I would guess. So, but yeah, sorry.
So go ahead. So what sort of qualities of the Eighth Doctor do you see in this one?
A bit more light on his feet. Just fun loving guy. I mean, that's who he is. I mean, I wouldn't say it's early days because this is after Charlie, but it's still he's having fun. So is she. I mean, the first story in this set starts out with them bouncing around the universe, popping into different places and just laughing at it and stuff. And this story actually references that story. One thing I did like. Well, I'll save that. But I mean, yeah, I think that this version of 8 is awesome. I mean, I like all of his stories really. I think I'm really enjoying the business with Livchenko and what's her name. It's been a long running story now. It started with Dark Eyes, but it's Dark Eyes, Doom Coalition, now Ravenous.
Molly.
Huh?
Molly.
Yeah, she was there for a bit. But anyway, I think he's had some really good stories for somebody that was barely on TV, and this is a good one. This is a very good one. Like I said, I agree with just about everything Lee said. I just feel like the story itself is just kind of a rehash. But there you go.
Okay. So this was Island of the Fendahl by Alan Barnes as the writer. And I'm not sure if what he's written for Big Finish. He didn't write Image of the Fendahl though, and I like how they integrated like the sort of commune hippie sort of thing, so that that was really sort of a big part of what I enjoyed about this. I enjoyed the interplay between them. I think that this is the Doctor being the most intelligent, and even though he was being controlled, he really had this is him being really thoughtful and graceful and thinking, and the way that all works was great. And they did have so much harken back, all of those names, all of the other characters, and where they were was really enjoyable. So yeah, and the fact that you find out that the skull in the skull that they have is actually from the black hole in the first story. That was a good thing. I mean, it was cool to see how he had actually created this issue and stuff. So fun. And so the skull bit, that was really my favorite moment in this, was figuring out like how the pentagram and the skull related to each other, and how the Fendahl were really actually involved with all of this. So yeah, let's go to your favorite moments. And since Tim, you wanted to do your favorite moment, go for it.
Well, I would just say that the way that the story goes back to the first story in the set, and he inadvertently or on purpose brought the skull out of the black hole with him. This is the same black hole that the Fourth Doctor had thrown the skull into back in Image of the Fendahl. And now here, a few years down the road, the Eighth Doctor pulls it out for whatever reason. And I thought that was a good throwback. I mean, and I think that it was a surprise too. And it was a nice way to tie this story to the first one. I'm not sure if the other two are involved in any of this, but it seems like the skull, didn't they imply that the skull had been directing him and Lucy since they left the black hole or something to a certain extent?
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty interesting. I haven't listened to the two stories in between, so I'm not sure. But I'm just saying, it made a nice kind of tight set there. I mean, because sometimes you just get four random stories, and that's cool too. But it was nice that they tied this one to the first one, because the first one was very, very, I don't know, kind of out there. So this is a good way to tie that one to that one. And again, the idea that this thing, even though it's been stuck in a black hole all this time, it still wants out and wants to take over things and do what it does. It's pretty cool. It's pretty spooky.
Okay, Lee?
Harking back to what Tim said about Paul McGann doing his different variations of the Doctor along his timeline, you can always tell which Doctor he's playing by which costume he's wearing, and that's how I think he does it. I mean, we've got the velvety Doctor again with a cravat, so that's how you know which. And I think once he sees a picture of that, he knows which type of Doctor he's playing. And written by Alan Barnes. Without Alan Barnes, we wouldn't have had the Eighth Doctor in Big Finish, because he was the one who wrote Storm Warning, the very fair Eighth Doctor story. I think it's an awesome story. It's an awesome box set, but as I say, we're talking about Island of the Fendahl. You get the hack back to all the image of the Fendahl sort of names, and you also sort of see a glimpse of the Fourth Doctor hurtling the skull into the abyss, shall we say? But I do like this because it's I was trying to think of, it's got the feel of like the what's that film called? Edward Woodward, Christopher Lee, Pagan. Wicker Man.
The Wicker Man.
The Wicker Man.
It's got that sort of feel to it, but the community, the
cults
and all like that, and
cults are dumb.
But hippie cults are cool, man.
Oh no,
they just need to take a bath.
I mean, that is a good thing from the Doctor. Oh no, hippies.
That was awesome. No, it's wonderful.
But in this story, you didn't know who to trust, because there was twists in the tale, and you think, oh yeah, you straight away, Dr. Fendelman and all like that, but do you trust him? Is he on your side? Whose side is he on? And
yeah, that was brutal. The way that guy that Lucy meets at the beginning just kind of drugs her and shoves her into his van at that. I mean, I was like, what the hell? I mean, because at first they were just having a conversation. It was nice, and she was like, no, I'll go on my way, and he just runs off with her.
Reform, yeah. But yeah, I think it's just the rapport between the two main characters is just brilliant, and as I said, the supporting cast, I can't knock it. It's a great feeling, but I do agree with what Tim said. It's sort of a retelling of the one what's gone before, but done, a fresh take on it.
Fresh take, yeah, slightly different. It's the kind of story you can only do one time anyway, I think, just do a variation on it. But it's a continuation in a way, because they do pick up from that other series, right? So
it doesn't take anything away from it. It's still enjoyable.
Yeah.
Over to you, Susan.
So, anything else that you guys want to talk about? Like, I mean, I know that I know that the points in space were that was sort of fun. Was all of the other stories had led them to create sort of a freedom for the Fendahl, which was cool.
Yeah, sort of influencing their travels for the past few years.
And
but it was a good take that the Fendahl core became the Doctor, or the Doctor became the core.
That was new. That was a new twist on it.
And that was a bit, in the TARDIS at the end of it, when it started all up again. You think, oh, how are they going to get out of this one?
Yeah.
But that's
one of the spookiest things about the original, is that the Fendahl, it's an awful creature, because it just slowly takes over that woman. And she's just an innocent victim, but by the end, she's transformed into this monster, and it's like she, you forget about her, but she was a victim of the creature because it used her as a host, I guess.
A complete innocent.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what, as he says, the Fendahl, it's death.
Yeah.
The Fendahl is death.
Mm-hmm.
And
and then the idea that it would take over the Doctor, you would think, oh wow, but he's got to be smarter than that. So.
Thank God, Lucy Bleeding Miller.
Yeah, exactly. So like,
Lucy Miller.
yeah, so like the cast was Paul McGann, Sheridan Smith, Attila, a Kinky, or a Kinsey, who played Fendelman. Let's see.
Paul Pantin was Freddie.
Yeah.
Lauren Cornelius as Maxine, and Bethan Dixon Bate as the landlady in this one.
Yeah.
But it's a good feel. The story's got a good feel about it. For me, this is what Doctor Who should be. It's that feel about it, and that story had that Doctor Who feel.
Yeah.
Because some stories you think that just doesn't feel like Doctor Who, but this felt like Doctor Who.
See, I would disagree with you on that because, I agree with you about this story, but what I'm saying is I think Doctor Who, because of its format or lack thereof, can tell any story it wants to. And I think that's why it's brilliant, because you can tell other stories. Now, you don't have to like them all. You know what I mean? Like you said, this one gives you the Doctor Who feels, which is fine. Yeah. But if I were just to say, no, Lee, you're wrong. I like this kind of Doctor Who, the one with Rose and Ten running around kissy. Now, here's the thing: neither one of us would be wrong because it's opinion.
Yeah.
No.
That's an opinion.
So that's my point, though. That to me, that's the brilliance of the format, is that it can tell any story it wants. You don't have to like them all. You can like this one and say, I hate the kissy, but there you go. But this is an example of them, doing an excellent sequel or a follow up to a previous story and using the same elements and doing a really good job with it.
Yeah. To be honest, this story did justice to the Fendahl more than the Torchwood one earlier on in the year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was a bit out of the way out there.
Yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm.
Too much.
Gimmicky. Yeah, I get you on that. This was very Sapphire and Steel, wasn't it? Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, a bit, yeah.
Someone mentioned Sapphire and Steel. Ooh.
Super fun. Anyway, thanks. Let's put this into our rating system. So let's begin with Tim, please. What's your rating?
I'll give it a 9. I thought it was great. Fun listen.
Cool. And Lee, what's your rating, please?
Oh, I'm giving it 10 Fendaline out of 10.
Cool. And I'm giving it 2 5-point stars, so 10 also out of 10. And 10 hippie like cult members wandering around in the countryside on an island. Yes. Anyway, that would be good. Thanks for watching our podcast. Please like and subscribe. And if you want to join us, talk to Lee. And if you want to share this widely, I would be appreciating that. And join our groups and follow us on social media. And thanks, Tim. Thanks, Lee. And we'll see you in a fortnight. And we have not decided what we're doing. But that's okay, because it'll be a surprise to you. Surprise! Anyway, maybe get more spooky towards October, as that's a possibility too. Anyway, have fun. Don't let the Fendahl get you. And we'll see you in a while. Thanks.